Hello everyone, got a few dirty jokes for you today. So 4 nuns are arguing about what they think a man's pecker feels like, and the vicar overhears them. He gets really upset, and he says, "You are nuns. You are not supposed to think about that." Then he gets an idea, and he says, "But since you are such good, loyal servants of the Lord and the church, I will let you each have a feel so you can stop wondering." So anyway, afterwards, they all meet up, and the first nun smiles and says, "Oh, it's like a kneeling cushion, so soft and warm." The second nun says, "No, my sister, it is more like the hymnal, firm but one can still bend it." The third nun says, "No, my sister, it's like the bishop's crook, long and hard like wood." The fourth nun says, "No, my sisters, it's like a camel." They all look at her like she's crazy, and they say all together, "A camel." She says, "Yes, it spit on me." So while suturing up a cut on the hand of a 75-year-old farmer, whose hand had been caught in the gate while working his cattle, the doctor struck up a conversation with the old man. Eventually, the topic got around our president. The old farmer said, "Well, you know, he is just a post turtle." Now, not being familiar with the term, the doctor asked, "What's a post turtle?" The old farmer said, "When you're driving down a country road and you come across a fence post with a turtle balanced on top, that's a post turtle." The old farmer saw the puzzled look on the doctor's face, so he continued to explain. "You know, he didn't get up there by himself. He doesn't belong up there. He doesn't know what to do while he's up there. He sure as hell isn't going anywhere. And you just wonder what kind of dumb bastard put him up there in the first place." So it was coming to the end of the day, and sitting in his tiny, near-deserted local pub in Mount Isa was an abbo. He was having a few beers as usual when a short, well-dressed, and obviously gay man walked in and sat beside him. After 3 or 4 beers, the gay man leaned over towards the abbo and whispered, "Do you want a blowjob?" The abbo leaped up with fire in his eyes, knocked the gay man off his stool, and smacked the crap out of him. He dragged him out of the bar and left him bruised and battered in the car park and returned to his seat at the bar. Not entirely amazed at what just happened, the barman quickly brought over another beer to the abbo and said, "I've never seen you react as badly as that before. What did he say to you?" "I don't know," the abbo replied. "Something about a job." So, a young Chinese couple gets married. She's a virgin. Truth be told, he is a virgin too, but she doesn't know that. On their wedding night, she cowers naked under the sheets as her husband undresses in the darkness. He climbs into bed next to her and tries to be reassuring. "My darling," he whispers, "I know dis you first time and you very frightened. I promise you, I give you anything you want. I do anything, just anything you want. You just ask what you want," he says, trying to sound experienced and worldly, which he hopes will impress her. A thoughtful silence follows, and he waits patiently and eagerly for her request. She eventually shyly whispers back, "I want to try something I have heard about from other girls." Number 69. More thoughtful silence from him. Eventually, in a puzzled tone, he asks her, "You want garlic chicken with snow peas?" So a young man graduated from University of Tasmania with a degree in journalism. His first assignment for the newspaper who hired him was to write a human interest story. Being from Tassie, he went back to the bush to do his research. He went to an old farmer's house way back in the hills introduced himself to the farmer, and proceeded to explain to him why he was there. The young man asked, "Has anything ever happened around here that made you happy?" The farmer thought for a minute and said, "Yep. One time, one of my neighbor's sheep got lost. We formed a search party and found it. We all rooted it and took it back home." "I can't print that," the young man exclaimed. "Can you think of anything else that happened that made you or a lot of other people happy?" After another moment, the farmer said, "Yeah, one time my neighbor's daughter, a good-looking girl, got lost. We formed a big search party that time and found her. After we all rooted her, we took her back home too." Again, the young man said, "I can't print that either. Has anything ever happened around here that made you sad?" The old farmer dropped his head, looked up timidly at the young man and said, "I got lost once." So, the Pope and Hillary Clinton are on the same stage in front of a huge crowd. The Pope leans towards Hillary and said, "Do you know that with one little wave of my hand, I can make every person in this crowd go wild with joy? This joy will not be momentary display, but will go deep into their hearts, and they'll forever speak of this day and rejoice." Hillary replies, "I seriously doubt that. With one little wave of your hand. Show me." "So," the Pope backhanded her. "So as I cruised down the highway, perhaps just a little over the speed limit, okay, maybe more than a little, I found myself passing beneath a looming bridge. And wouldn't you know it, there stood a policeman on the other side, armed with a radar gun, ready to pounce on unsuspecting speedsters like myself. The policeman flagged me down, sauntered over to my car, and with that signature smug grin plastered across his face, he quipped, 'Late for takeoff, are we?' Without missing a beat, I retorted, running behind for work. 'Curious,' he inquired. 'So what's your line of work then?' 'Oh, I'm in the business of rectum stretching.' I deadpanned. The policeman's expression morphed into a mix of surprise and bewilderment. 'A what now?' 'Rectum stretching. And what exactly does that entail?' 'Well,' I explained matter-of-factly, 'it starts with one finger, then progresses to 2, then 3, until I've got both hands in there, gently widening the passage until it's about 6 feet wide.' Baffled, the policeman cautiously asked, 'And what on earth do you do with a 6-foot arsehole?' With a polite grin, I replied, simple. 'You equip him with a radar gun and station him behind a bridge.' So, a girl asks her boyfriend to come over Friday night to meet and have a dinner with her parents. Since this is such a big event, the girl announces to her boyfriend that after dinner, she would like to go out and make love for the first time. The boy is ecstatic, but he has never made love before, so he takes a trip to the pharmacist to get some rubbers. He tells the pharmacist it's his first time, and the pharmacist helps the boy for about an hour. He tells the boy everything there is to know about rubbers and making love. At the register, the pharmacist asks the boy how many he'd like to buy, a 3-pack, 10-pack, or family pack. The boy insists on the family pack because he thinks he will be rather busy, it being his first time and all. That night, the boy shows up at the girl's parents' house and meets his girlfriend at the door. "Oh, I'm so excited for you to meet my parents. Come on in." The boyfriend goes inside and is taken to the dinner table where the girl's parents are seated. The boy quickly offers to say grace and bows his head. A minute passes, and the boy is still deep in prayer with his head down. 10 minutes pass, and still no movement from the boy. Finally, after 20 minutes with his head down, The girlfriend leans over and whispers to the boyfriend, "I had no idea you were this religious." The boy turns and whispers back, "I had no idea your father was a pharmacist." So, me and the missus decided to go out for a meal last night. We arrived early at the restaurant. The manager asked, "Would you mind waiting for a bit?" "Sure, no problem," I replied. "Thanks," he said. "Can you take these pizzas to table 6, please?" So, a man boarded an aircraft at London's Heathrow Airport for New York, and taking his seat as he settled in, he noticed a very beautiful woman boarding the plane. He realized she was heading straight toward his seat, and bingo, she took the seat right beside him. "Hello," he blurted out. "Business trip or vacation?" She turned, smiled enchantingly, and said, "Business. I'm going to the annual Nymphomaniac convention in the United States." He swallowed hard. Here was the most gorgeous woman he had ever seen sitting next to him, and she was going to a meeting for nymphomaniacs. Struggling to maintain his composure, he calmly asked, "What's your business role at this convention?" "Lecturer," she responded. "I use my experience to debunk some of the popular myths about sexuality." "Really?" he smiled. "What myths are those?" "Well," she explained, "one popular myth is that African American men are the most well-endowed when, in fact, it's the Native American Indian who is most likely to possess that trait. Another popular myth is that French men are the best lovers, when actually it is the men of Greek descent. We have also found that the best potential lovers in all categories are the Irish." Suddenly, the woman became uncomfortable and blushed. "I'm sorry," she said. "I really shouldn't be discussing this with you. I don't even know your name." "Tonto," the man said. "Tonto Papadopoulos, but my friends call me Patty."